Alrighty, everybody, welcome into this is Shun Domain, and today we are reading through Habakkuk, and we're gonna read the whole book. It's just 3 chapters, so it shouldn't take me all that long. But let's just get started with it. Hold on, let me move this back a little bit, fix it, because I can't see what exactly. Hold on, I need to fix it. So anyway, I do want to say, my Twitter account has been taken down because somebody reported me for a word or a phrase that wasn't actually, you know, violent at all. It was reference towards how hard I work in life and all that. And I got reported for it. There's a YouTuber that reported me that right now somebody needs to start reporting him for all these phrases he's using because he's, literally doing that unfairly. So, let's get into this. Chapter 1. The prophecy of Habakkuk, the prophet received. Habakkuk's complaint. How long, Lord, must I call for help? But you do not listen, or cry out to, sorry, cry out to you, violence, but you do not save. Why do you make me look at injustice? Why do you tolerate wrongdoing? Destruction and violence are before me. There is strife and conflict abound. Therefore the law is paralyzed, and injustice never prevails. The wicked hem in the righteous, so the justice is perverted. So he's asking, why are you not doing anything about this, Lord? Why are you just letting it be? Why are you allowing me to see all this and there's no correction right now? So, and the Lord's going to answer back to him. The Lord's answer: look at the nations and watch, and be utterly amazed, for I am going to do something in your days, for that you would not believe, even if you were told. I am rising up the Babylonians, that ruthless and impetuous people who sweep across the whole earth, to seize dwelling not their own. They are feared and dreaded people. They are a law to themselves, and promote their own honor. The horses are swifter than the leopards, fierce than wolves at dusk. The cavalry gallops headlong. Their horsemen come from afar. They fly like an eagle, swooping to devour. They all come intent on violence. Their hordes advance like a desert wind, and gather prisons like sand. They mock kings and scoff at rulers. They laugh at all the fortified cities. By building earthen rams, they capture them. Then they sweep past the wind and go on. Guilty people whose strength is their God. So, Lord's given the answer. He's like, I am going to do something in your days about this. You just have to wait and see. So, Habakkuk's second complaint. Lord, are you not from everlasting? My God, my Holy One, you will never die. The Lord, you, Lord, have appointed them to execute judgment. You, my rock, have ordained them. Punish. Your eyes are too pure to look on evil. You cannot tolerate wrongdoing. Why then do you tolerate the treacherous? Why are you silent while the wicked swallow up those for more righteous than themselves? You have made people like the fish in the sea, like the sea creatures that have no ruler. The wicked foes pull all of them up with the hooks. He catches them in his net. He gathers them up in his dragnet. And so he rejoices and is glad. Therefore he sacrifices to his net, and burns incense to his dragnet. For by his net he lives in luxury, and enjoy the choicest food. He is he to keep on emptying his net, destroying nations without mercy. I will stand at my watch, and station myself on ramparts. I will look to see what he says to me, and what answer I am to give to this complaint. And so he's asking him again, like, God, why is all this stuff happening? Why does this keep happening? So we're on chapter 2 now. The Lord's answer. Then the Lord replied, write down the revelation and make it plain on tablets, so that a herald may run with it. For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end, and will prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come, and will not delay. See, the enemy is puffed up. His desire are not upright. But the righteous person will live by his faithfulness. Indeed, wine betrays him. He is arrogant and never at rest, because he is as greedy as the grave, and like death is never satisfied. He gathers to himself all the nations and takes captive all peoples. Will not all of them taunt him with ridicule and scorn, saying, woe to him who piles up stolen goods, and makes himself wealthy by extortion. How long must this go on? Will not your creditors suddenly arise? Will they not wake up and make you tremble? Then you will become their prey, because you have plundered many nations. The people who are left with plunder will plunder you, for you have shed human blood. You have destroyed lands and cities, everyone in them. Woe to him who builds his house by an unjust gain, setting in his nest on high, to escape the clutches of ruin. They have plotted the ruin of many peoples, shaming your own house, and fortifying your life. The stone of the wall will cry out, and the beams of the woodwork will echo it. Woe to him who builds a city with bloodshed, and establishes a town by injustice. Has not the Lord Almighty determined that the people's labor is only fuel for the fire, that the nations exalt themselves for nothing? For the earth will be filled with knowledge of the glory of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea. Woe to him who gives drink to his neighbors, pouring it out from wineskin until they are drunk, so that he can gaze on their naked bodies. You will be filled with shame instead of glory. Now it is your turn, drunk, and let your nakedness be exposed. The cup from the Lord's right hand is coming around to you, and disgrace will cover your glory. The violence you have done to Lebanon will overwhelm you, and your destruction of animals will be terrified. It will terrify you. For you have shed human blood. You have destroyed lands and cities, and everyone in them. Of what value is an idol carved by craftsmen, or an image that teaches lies? For the one who makes it trusts in his own creation. He makes idols that cannot speak. Woe to him who says to wood, come to life, or to lifeless stone, wake up. Can it give guidance? It is covered with gold and silver. There is no breath in it. The Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth be silent before him. So he's basically like the Lord's basically telling him that all this stuff is happening because again false idols. You know he's saying that like so much dark stuff is going on within this city that human blood's being shed. There's false idols being made by human hands, like things that things that we shouldn't be paying much attention to. And now I'm gonna say this: you see this a lot online, but you see a lot of people making themselves into some sort of idol, making themselves out of high respect, and then disrespecting a human being that's less than them, a human being that's just smaller than them. I've experienced that numerous times, and I'm still experiencing that. You know, everybody wants to try to be right with the Lord, but they fail to realize the rules and consequences behind their actions. So when something happens to them, they go after me, the little guy, because they assume that I'm the guy that's I'm the guy that's blaming them for everything. The truth is I leave everybody alone normally. The only time I bother somebody is if like you're coming after me during the day. And yesterday I had a couple people just randomly like go after me. I've had people just randomly attack me all week. And then I'm told to get off the internet. Like as if they own the internet. Like people online need to stop having this entitled selfness about them and start understanding you don't own any of that. And that's my problem with a lot of people is they get into this selfish entitlement of things, and then they wonder why people get into arguments with them and dislike them. Well, you're acting so selfish about stuff. You could actually be a decent person if you know if you dropped your ego down a little bit or something like that. But that's just my thoughts about it. There's a lot of people that could lose their ego and be decent people without their ego acting. There's so many YouTubers on the internet, and I'm saying this as a person who does YouTube myself. But I can never see myself being so entitled to be be that bad with somebody to make them feel less of themselves, and I've never done that. And the problem with it is like there's a whole bunch of people out there who turn into these selfish brats. And then they turn against you and make you feel less than yourself, even though you've done nothing wrong to those people. And it's relentlessly to these people that are always bigger than me. Because entitlement sits within them because they feel like, well, I've been doing this for a while. I've been making money off of this. Yeah, I bust my butt going to a job, working hard to make $1 while you sit on your butt all day making videos. I don't make money from this. You do. That's what really upsets me about this whole YouTuber spear thing is the entitlement of people who cannot understand why people feel that way about them. So, let's get into it. Chapter 3. Habakkuk's prayer. A prayer of Habakkuk the prophet on the Shigionoth. Lord, I have heard of your fame. I stand in awe of your deeds. Lord, repeat them in our day. In our time, make them known. In wrath, remember mercy. God came to Temna, Tem, Teman, the Holy One, from the Mount Paran. His glory covered the heavens, and his praise filled the earth. His splendor was like the sunrise. Rays flashed from his hands. Where's his hidden power? Where was his hidden power? Plague went before him. Pestilence followed his steps. He stood and shook the earth. He looked and made the nations tremble. The ancient mountains crumbled. The age of old hills collapsed. But he marches on forever. I saw the tent of Cushan in distress, the dwelling of Medan in anguish. Were you angry with the rivers, Lord? Was your wrath against the streams? Did you raise against the sea? When you rode your horses, and your chariots to victory. You uncovered your bow. You called for many arrows. You split the earth with rivers. The mountains saw you and withered. Torrents of water swept by, and the deep roared and lifted its waves on high. Sun and moon stood still in the heavens. At the glint of your flying arrows, at lightning of your flashing spear. In wrath he strode through the earth, and in anger threshed the nations. You came out to deliver your people, to save your anointed ones. You crushed the leader of the land, wickedness. You stripped him from head to foot with his own spear and pierced his head. When his warriors stormed out to scatter us, gloating as though about to devour the wretched who were in hiding, you trampled the sea with your horses, churning the great waters. I heard, and my heart pounded. My lips quivered at the sound. Decay crept in my bones. My legs trembled. Yet I will wait patiently for the day of calamity to come on nations invading us. Though the fig trees does not bud, there are no grapes on the vines. Though olive crops fails, the field produces no food. Though there are no sheep in the pen, and no cattle in the stalls, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will be joyful in my God, my Savior. Sovereign Lord, in my strength, he makes my feet like the feet of a deer. He enables me to tread on the heights. From the director of music on string instruments. So he's just praying for everything. He's asking, he's like, God, why is all this stuff happening? And just kind of like praying for it to become better. Um, a lot of people don't understand that prayer is a very powerful thing, and I've experienced it. I've helped a lot of people see, I help a lot of people clear out their problems and all that, praying from afar, and it becomes so powerful that like sometimes people don't acknowledge it, and that's why we are where we are today. As there's a lot of people who you know who get mad at me over prayer and by following this, but the correction. eh, the one thing I learned is that the world has been against me lately. The world's been coming down on me pretty hard, and it's because I disagree with certain things, and a lot of it is this a lot of it is, and it revolves around our ideals of the political agenda and all that. You know, we've been seeing a lot of problems lately. I especially, I've been seeing the worst of some issues that like people just aren't not letting subside, and that's something we need. That's something that if you're having trouble in an area in your life, pray to God for it, man. Pray to God for it. Read the Bible instead of going around telling people help. Tell them to get this instead. It'll change their life. It'll teach them a perspective that most people would not take into consideration because they don't naturally understand how, how powerful God really is. And some people have said that to me recently that, have claims to read the Bible, but will turn around and tell me to get help. And it's just weird that they're saying that because, there's some things that God's trying to fix and trying to help, but people are ruining it. And people literally ruin a lot more things than anybody wants to accept. And they won't even blame themselves for it. You know, they won't blame people. They'll blame you to be the crooked, problematic one, even though you're not doing anything to anybody. You, you know, yesterday, all day, I went without arguing with somebody until it got tonight. And then somebody started an argument with me. It's weird that people who are terminally online want to start arguments with the guy who's barely ever online. I go to work. I don't have time to sit online all day long and type up stuff to everybody all the time. But yet when I do, it's a problem to everybody on YouTube that's part of the spirit that's bigger than me. And I don't know why that is. I don't know why that sets them off. I don't know why that gets them mad about me. Because you know what? I'm not sitting there online permanently. You are. There's a big difference between you and I. If your job consists you to be online, well, then you're going to have mental disorders. You're going to have mental problems. Don't go telling me I need help when you're the one sitting online getting mad about me. You what? Getting hearts, but from a comment because a girl hearted a comment. Come on, dude. You're like some of you guys out there. You're older than me, and you're getting mad at me. I get told every day in real life not to play video games and stuff like that. It really, really frustrates me because I see them doing it. And it's like they act like they're entitled, like they're allowed to do it. Hey, you're 36 years old. No, not 36 years old. You're 30 some years old. What are you doing playing games? What are you doing talking about games on the internet, crying about them? When you could be out there getting a job, working like everybody else. What upsets me about these YouTubers who are online 24/7 is that they don't know what real work is. They have no idea how it feels to bust your butt every single day to make your living. And yet, that'll make you out to be the bad guy because you came in and you're the new guy. I don't get this platform. I don't get the people on it. And I clearly don't understand the entitlement behind it because you're making goofy videos on the internet all day. I'm sitting here reading the Bible and I'm being told that I need help. The reality of the truth is, if I'm bothering you that much, maybe you should get off the internet and not me because I'm barely on the internet. Everybody's been picking fights with me, telling me what to do online. When reality the truth is their job is permanently being online, making money, making a decent amount of money for being online. So I don't want to hear you all complain when you know, and that's something that needs to start changing. This entitlement of YouTubers, I don't care anymore. I really don't. YouTubers are so entitled when it comes down to it that I'm an actual person who's working at a job. And this is the last thing I'm going to say. If you're having a problem with your job and career online, maybe go find another job instead of taking that out on people who are just online. There's a couple people who are not online all the time that understand where I'm coming from and understand your entitlement because you're a YouTuber does not mean anything to the world. Understand that. Understand you're not God. You're not entitled to anything. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you learned something here too. That when you're doing something big online, you still have no right to feel entitled. Okay? This is the internet. Everybody has opinions. Get over it. And with that said, have a wonderful day. God bless you and take it easy. And think about where you're coming from in life and think about why people feel the way they do about you. And until then, God bless.